1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do, or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air,
Pod.
and the gang's all here, all things on the South Side. We're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries, or you might just need an awesome place to eat.
Southside Pod!
Mount Greenwood, Evergreen,
Southside Pod.
Blue Island, Beverly, Payless, and Allsup 2. You're tuned into the Southside Pod.
Southside Pod!
Oakland, Midlothian,
Southside Pod.
Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod.
I'm at Hailstorm Brewing in Tinley. I got John Streets, our good friend, who's been on the show before.
Hey.
Streets Arts Alliance is out here today. You can kind of see a little bit of it in the background if you're watching the video on YouTube. If you're listening on Southside Pod, you'll get it on YouTube in a couple of days. But big artisan market here. This is the Makers Artisan Market. You do these a lot. You've been in Hailstorm several times. What about Hailstorm in Tinley Park? First of all, sets up well for a market. Is it the fact you can go indoor, outdoor, and you can kind of like make it so people can walk through the whole place?
So Hailstorm's great because they've got such a giant, spacious interior, and they've got this beautiful patio outside. You know, it lends itself well to having, I think right now we've got 26 artists here at Hailstorm. The staff is always super cool, and, it's always a good sign when we bring out this many people to a show. So this is kind of what I was hoping. Having some articles in the Patch and all these other places really help prop this one up.
It's awesome. What are you drinking? I'm having the Dominatrix. This is one of my favorite beers on all the South Side. Sometimes I say it's my favorite, then I kind of check myself and I say, well, that's unfair to all the other breweries. But when this thing's on tap, I drink it, and it's dangerous because it's 11%. But it's a hophead's dream because it's a triple IPA, and it's one of their best. And I always tell Will Turner that I love it, and I know he's tweaked it since he's gotten here about a year and a half ago. But, I mean, it is just such a good beer. What are you drinking?
I actually don't remember the name of it.
I'm drinking beer. It's wet. It's got kind of an amber color, and it tastes good.
It basically was their summer drinker, their summer quencher that's got some flavoring in it. I wanted something super light. This is my first beer of the day because I just partied a little too hard at Sound Growler.
It's Sound Growler's big anniversary the night before.
The 6-year anniversary,
yeah. A bunch of bands out there. And
5
stuff.
metal bands, including Bongzilla.
Yeah, when I saw Bongzilla, I knew what kind of crowd it was going to be. Right away.
I hadn't heard of any 5 of those bands prior to doing it, but it was a phenomenal show, and I definitely drank way too much.
I still haven't heard of all those bands. I don't know where they came from and where they're going to go next. But you have another thing going on over at Sound Growler.
I do.
Coming up this weekend. So tell me a little bit about that.
And
you can use your phone if you need help.
Yeah, I might need it because I'm still hungover.
The Halloween one, though, right?
Yes, it's called Summerween.
Yeah.
And this wasn't my idea. Lindsay from Lucky Eye Inc., she came up with the idea. She's like, why don't we do a Summerween market? Now, I don't know if Arturo wants me to be mentioning this, but originally we had planned for a food truck event.
Okay.
Where we still had artists, but food trucks as well. That wasn't panning out great, so it was kind of perfect timing with this idea with Summerween. And Arturo, he was open to it, so we did it. Now, this is probably the biggest interest I've seen in any of the events that I've ever had.
You're telling me 2,300 people?
2,300 people on Facebook are interested, and that's Facebook. A lot of people have left Facebook, but to get 2,300 people is insane. It's almost reaching like an expo or like a convention kind of status.
People love Halloween.
They do.
See, and here's the thing. Like, I'm a fan of Halloween. I enjoy Halloween. I have a good time at Halloween. I like walking around with the kids at Halloween, but there are freaks on the South Side. Freaks that want to dress like it's Halloween every day. And if you give them an excuse in the summertime, in late July, to put on their get-ups and their garbs, they're coming, John.
So anyone's welcome to wear an outfit as if it was
They
Halloween.
will
And I
be.
can
The freaks
guarantee
are coming out.
we have a group, several, right now it's not on my brain, but we've got several cosplayers coming out that are going to be showcasing something Halloween. And I can't list what they are, but we've got a bunch of cosplayers coming out, so we invite everyone to dress up.
What kind of cosplayers are we talking with? Big bulky costumes or a sexy cosplay? What kind of cosplay?
I think it's going to be a little both.
Ooh,
yeah, so
okay.
Yeah, definitely. That's not the only reason to come out to the market, but yeah, Summerween, we've got 40 artists set up inside and outside. They'll still have all the regular tacos and delicious beers from Sound Growler, but this will be interesting to see how crazy busy it really gets. I'm stoked, as well as every artist there is stoked.
So when you're putting these together, I just find that it's so well put together when I go to yours. You always have everything lined up to the point where I can kind of walk through, I can check it all out. Everybody seems relaxed and happy, and it seems like you use a lot of the same people, but you rotate them in. Like, I mean, I've been at yours before, and like this time I walked through and I was like, well, I recognize this person. I've seen this one before. I've seen this one before, but this one's new. And so when you're doing these events, are you constantly rotating? Or are you trying to pick based upon what type of market is, where it's at? How are you doing that?
So I definitely keep an eye on who's done that show before. For this show in particular, we had 26 artists. Over half the artists had never done this venue before. And one of the questions on the application is, have you ever done this market before? And that's a way for me to gauge, because I do so many markets, I can't remember everything.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, so I try to hit for every show at least half the artists being brand new to that venue. And for instance, today I have at least 5 or 6 artists that have never done one of my markets before ever. So they're brand spanking new. And they, like Victoria Lee Creates and the Cloud Candy Inside and Temmie Beads, they've never done a market with me before ever, and all of them have been doing really well at this market. So thank you for being a supporter of all these shows.
Listen, I'm already getting sucked in. I've got my wife bought a Santa Claus that goes down this big blue, like starry board, like Plinko.
Oh, yeah.
And The Price is Right, and lands in the chimney.
Yep.
Because she gives a Santa Claus to her stepmother every year. They exchange Santa Claus with each other. And she was like, this is going to be my Santa Claus. She bought it at the market today. And I am going to have a very hard time walking out of here without buying the Chief Illini Wick big wooden sign that's shaped like the state of Illinois that the guy's selling inside. I'm like, I went to Illinois, I might buy this today. So, I mean, you're going to get me. And if I keep drinking the 11% dominatrix, you're definitely going to get me today.
But Terry's Woodworking, he's another new artist that has never done this show before. And he was telling me today that this was the first time in like 20 years that he's done a craft show. So it's kind of special that you got something from someone that's been out of the market system for so many years.
Yeah.
But thank you again for supporting them. But yeah, as far as overlap and influx of new artists, I try so hard to make sure it's a expertly curated show. You know, some of these other big markets that you see in the area, they're charging money to get in, or they're, having 20 different of the same kinds of vendors.
Think about that, though. You don't charge to walk in, right? So
no.
I walk into Hailstorm today in Tinley Park, which one of my favorite breweries on the south side, to be honest with you, because it looks like a brewery. It has a tap room bar, and then it has a big beer hall, and it's got a patio, like whatever your mood is, right? So I always love this place. I always got great beer here as well. They got good food. But I walked in, and there was nothing like, well, you got to pay a cover to walk in. So what do? I order a beer. I start walking around. I'm relaxed, and I start making purchases.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how it's supposed to go.
Like if you pay $20 to walk in the door beforehand, you're kind of like, well, I already dropped 20.
Exactly.
You want to take more of my money now?
Yep.
And then you start weighing that when you're inside the place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing to me, to just be as welcoming as possible and just give people an intimate event where they can chat with the artists and talk about things.
Yeah.
I just find that so much more welcoming than some of these other bougie markets,
I saw your brother in here before he left.
Yeah.
He does tarot card reading.
He does.
But you have somebody else doing tarot card reading.
Yeah, Tegan with 10 cups.
Does he get upset when his own brother picks a different tarot card reader?
No. I'm the reason he reads tarot.
Okay.
He did it kind of on the side for a while, and
he
wasn't.
Take a class for that? How does that work?
I think he
Get
just did all of his
certified?
own research.
Okay.
There's books you can read to learn how to do that. And he just kind of practiced with it and had something online. I kept pushing him. I'm like, Jason, I need tarot readers. Do one of my shows.
Right.
And after some coaxing, he ended up signing up for one, and he's been my regular tarot reader ever since the beginning.
See, I would do that, but what I would do is I would just lay out cards. And then every fifth person, I would say, you're going to die. Like, I would have one person I would say is going to make a ton of money.
The
next person I would say, you look like you're going to be lucky in love. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're going to die. Like, I would rotate it. I wouldn't even be reading. I would just be making it up as I went along. But there's a science to this, you're telling me, or a method to it.
Please don't do that. You're going to terrify some people that really believe in the tarot.
I know.
I don't see tarot as something that is. I find it more like a party trick, or just kind of a nice little fun story.
I feel that way too. That's why I'm messing with people.
Not minimizing anyone that believes in the tarot or spirituality.
Yeah. You know who moves the Ouija board? I do.
Really?
Yeah. I just push it.
Yeah.
Everybody else thinks that it's being moved by a spirit. It's me.
Well, good on that. But yeah,
this is bad promotion for your Halloween event, because all the people going to that, they totally believe in that stuff. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Tell me again, when is it? It's going to be at Sound Growler.
So Sound
Coming
Growler
up this Saturday.
Yes, the 29th. It starts at 12 p.m.
Okay.
There's plenty of on-site parking, and there's
Kicks off at like noon or something?
starts at 12, goes
Yeah.
to about 5 o'clock.
All right.
And we've got 40 artists lined up inside and outside. In the event of rain, we'll move them inside.
Dress up.
And if you want to
Get
dress
freaky.
up, yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't know about the get freaky.
Get freaky.
All right, get freaky.
Get freaky.
You know, have a good time.
Right.
You know, you're supporting small artists by coming to the market. And if you love Halloween, this is the place to be. And many thanks to Lindsay from Lucky Eye Inc. for giving me that idea for a market, and for Sound Growler letting me host it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you, Chris.
John Streets.
Yes.
We're going to do a little cheers here. Congrats on what you're doing. I mean, seriously, man, every weekend you're someplace. I mean, you could start following you like you were the band Fish. Like, I'm just a John Streets follower on the south side of his markets. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers. Thank you, sir.
It's the Southside! It's the Southside! It's the Southside Pod! Thanks for listening! Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod! Y'all come back now, you hear?